Okay, I want to get started on the next session. We have two sessions scheduled next. Dr. Greg Olson is standing over here, the guy with the flight suit. He's got a unique tailor, so that's why he wears that. Told you the story. What I wanted to do here is we have a panel that we put together, and the panel these are companies that are actually located at EDC. Okay, they're programs that have matured to a good level. They're in unique market areas, and they want to tell us a little bit about what they do, and then we're going to have a Q&A session, right? So you can ask them. So some of you may know these folks. So I'm going to start. I'm going to ask each one of you to introduce yourself and describe and tell us what business you're in. Short introduction, please.
My name is Alon Cohen. I'm the CTO and Executive Vice President of Phone.com, which is one of the EDC companies.
Hi, I'm Gloria Cowart. I'm a co-founder of 4.0 Analytics. We're a software and data analytics company for the mobile transportation. We ensure vehicle compliance, health, and reduction in emissions, carbon emissions.
Are those mics working? Can you hear back there okay? Because I seem to be a little louder than everybody else.
Yeah, it did sound like that.
Can't get it any higher. Okay. Better? You need me to go again?
Yeah.
Gloria Cowart. I'm a co-founder at 4.0 Analytics. We're a software and data analytics company. Okay.
That's a lot.
Third time's a charm. Okay. Gloria Cowart. I'm a co-founder at 4.0 Analytics. We're a software and data analytics company. We provide software for the automotive transportation industry and to ensure that the vehicles are optimal and reduce carbon emissions.
Hi, I'm Keith Williams. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Anthiem Ventures, and I'm also the Director of the Web and Information Systems Program here at NJIT. And my background basically is in software engineering and product development.
Great. What I wanted to do is have them each cover areas as to why products are not enough to make your business work. Primarily because we have a lot of companies that come in and they say, I've developed X, Y, Z, help me get it to market. You can't do that, it should be the other way around. So there's a lot of experiences that people have made. And I'm going to ask, example, what are the marketplace problems you're solving? Can you help me out?
Yeah, so Phone.com provide hosted telephony services for businesses. If in the old days you had to buy an expensive piece of hardware to build a phone system in the office, with us you are building everything in the cloud. There's nothing to install, and so there's no capital investment in building an office phone system. On top of that, creates a lot of flexibility in moving. If you want to move to another office, you just take the phone, plug it to your new network, and that's it. There's nothing to change or move.
That's great. Gloria, could you help us with that?
Certainly. The solution that we provide is to the automotive industry, which is software that is plugged into the vehicle's onboard system with a hardware piece. Every 1996 in your vehicle has a companion port, which is called the onboard diagnostic port. The insurance company right now is using that same device and port to provide user-based insurance for their clients, to score them based on how they're driving. They would prefer to have great drivers, as everyone would. But we add on to that device by implementing our software into the hardware component to provide, to ensure that the vehicle is running optimally, also to mitigate emissions. So with our component, it adds another level of transparency for the fleet clients and individuals as well. It allows them certainly to be good stewards of the environment to make sure that they're not polluting.
And basically the products that I work on, I design or work on, are in visual communication, digital whiteboard, multimedia whiteboards, remote collaboration software, and I work on building learning management systems. So that's my background in what products I work on. And basically the problems that I look to solve are challenges in education and communication.
I'd like to ask a question now. How did you validate your business models?
Well, the voice over IP business took, it's been around for 20 years now. And it wasn't clear from day one that it is really, that there is a marketplace for that, and that the technology could even work on the public internet. There was a lot of people that predicted that it's not going to go anywhere, but reality, and specifically 20 years ago, the cost of international calling was really expensive, and as soon as we came up with this technology, a previous company that I worked with, we saw that there is a demand for people that want to bypass those high international rates. And that really drove the technology in its initial days. So the market kind of proved itself to us.
We validated our business model by partnering with one of the largest hardware, or the #1 hardware provider to the insurance industry. And with that, coupled with our software, we now have fleet clients, public sector fleet clients, as well as partnering with international clients that are looking to push emissions compliance in not only in the U.S. but also internationally.
And I really have two products. One is called Showed Me, and Showed Me is a learning management system that was validated by the fact that we saw, and it's being used for training new employees. And one of the challenges that was solving was that in the technology industry, onboarding new software developers, engineers that need to learn content that's changing consistently, and the creation of that content was a challenge to keep up with for the instructional design departments for a given corporation. And we developed a way for capturing content while people were communicating and educating new software developers. And so that became Showed Me, and the validation for that is now, if you're familiar with the company Atlassian, they make the software Jira. Now my software is their learning management system at Atlassian, as well as a few other companies. And what happened actually while I was developing that was that I saw that I'd worked with developers all over the world, and I had a really hard time communicating visually to people. It was like we were using a system called HipChat for a while, and then we moved to Slack. And it was a really big challenge to communicate conceptual ideas, visual ideas. And so I came up with this idea for Workbench. And Workbench is a visual communication tool to assist project management and product design. And so it was my need that I had, and I had the opportunity to do that. And so that became Workbench. And then we launched it in the App Store last year. We got some traction with that, and in January we'll be coming out with our new and improved version that capitalizes on some of the successes we had in the first version, and that's what I did.
everybody has their own way of validating, but obviously anybody who's going to move on needs that validation for the reasons we heard from the last presenter. I'm curious to know about how did you attract investors or strategic buyers, whichever it may be? What was the process? So how did you get ready? How did you do that?
Well, Phone.com kind of started in the opposite way to what maybe Dave Rose presented, because it started by a guy who bought the domain name, and that's his specialty, buying and selling domain names. And once he acquired Phone.com for a significant amount of his money, he was looking for a business model where he could maybe make a company out of it. And that's how we encountered our CEO. So our first investment was actually the marketing money that come along with the value of the domain name. And the next step was really going to angel investors, and with a relatively small investment, the company was actually starting up.
Yeah, this is a different one. I hadn't heard that one before. That's good. Wow, that's a roundabout way of getting there, but you made it work. Gloria, can you help us with yours?
Yes, sure. Well, we initially, the co-founder Mark Sadala and I, we invested for the first year our own funds, and then the second and third year we sought to get friends and family funding. And right now, through our strategic partners that we have leveraged, we now have taken on full clients. But we have not taken on any angel investors, but we are seeking our second round of that.
For myself, basically what happened was I saw an opportunity. There was some new technologies coming online, like I don't know if anybody have heard of Node.js or the JavaScript, server-side programming languages that are out, that sort of languages out there. And I was doing, had my own company that was making web applications for people just as a software development company. And I saw that I could design a framework to rapidly develop applications. So I took the new technology and developed a faster way of building certain types of software. And so I took that and pitched that to Anthiem Ventures, which is, his name's George. And I pitched that to him, and he loved that, and then he bought that company, and then he turned around and turned that development framework into the software that we use, that we've made our other companies out of. So that's kind of how I got started.
Right. A couple of different routes, right? What makes your business model compelling? What is the unique differentiation that you put in and made it work?
I don't know if it's such a differentiator, but I prefer business models that have recurring revenue model. And that's what basically a phone service is. Once you establish a specific, a certain level of customer base, obviously you have to keep increasing that base by adding more customers, and you lose on the backside customers that close their business or whatnot, and don't need the phone anymore. But once you establish that base, you have sufficient revenue stream that really enables you to, if you're conservative enough, to grow the company very nicely and without being dependent on external investments.
So would you say service was a critical?
Well, service is one way. I guess if recurring revenue is for services, then yes, the service needs to be there. But not only that, I think part of that service has to be things like customer support and you know, the environment that you provide within that service.
There you go. So all about delivering a high-quality, consistent quality business. We'll talk some more about that. Gloria, could you answer that one as well?
Absolutely. So in the U.S. alone, there's over 260 million vehicles, and worldwide there's about 1.2 billion. So our technology fits within that sector of every 1996 and newer vehicle that is being driven, certainly gasoline, diesel vehicles. We ensure by utilizing our software within the hardware component or even in the infotainment system, that we can ensure that the vehicle is always emissions compliant, that that vehicle is healthy, and it minimizes that expense of an owner, opposed to having your check engine light flashing on your dashboard. You then know naturally you have a problem. With our software, we're able to alert the owner that there are up-and-coming issues so that they can prevent those unavoidable issues of that dreaded check engine light. And so utilizing our technology, integrating it into the hardware with our partners, we have an ongoing recurring business model that will touch not only the U.S. but international, as we're starting to do business with a company in Australia that is an insurance provider, as well as they're getting into the fleet market. So our possibilities are endless, certainly.
So, I guess my point of view is that I really care about people. I care about what their work lives are like. I care about how technology can help them. And what I really believe is that essentially, if you provide a product that meets someone's everyday need, that they have an acute pain point in their daily lives, and you deliver that product with care and with respect for how they are going to use it so that it's easy to use, clear-cut, simple, and solves the problem that they have, that's how you're going to create a successful product and business. That you especially in software for many different people is challenging to use, and the more things you put in it, the more cloud you have behind it. Not the cloud like in the sky with all the computers, but the more cloudy that value proposition is for that person by having too many features and too many things that it does. I think that really creates a lot of challenges. And so I think that what I really wanted to do is to try to focus on the value proposition that entrepreneur is providing for their customers and help develop that and communicate that through the product design that they have.
Customer satisfaction. Yeah, hitting that target market. That did it. I agree. I have some questions that I wanted to ask that are specific for each one. Example, our representative for Phone.com. You may not know, but Phone.com had some awards for fastest growing company in, was it New Jersey or bigger than that? Yeah, Inc. 500, so that's bigger. And it's a phenomenal thing to grow a company that fast. And I'm really curious, what is the go-to-market strategies that allow this to happen?
I think that it's hard to evaluate something such a premium domain name. And before I worked at Phone.com, I thought, domain name is a name. You just search at Google and you find whatever company that you want. Doesn't matter which name it is. But apparently, Google and other search engines give a lot of weight to the domain name, specifically premium domain names. And when somebody is searching for terms that are related to telephony or office phone system and things like that, we are there on the first or second page. So Our go-to-market strategy is really about utilizing the power of that domain name as much as we can with search engine optimization mostly, because we're trying to get as much as organic traffic as we can, which is the cheapest way to acquire customers. And that basically worked for us pretty well in the past several years.
Yeah, anybody in the room should emulate what they did. Really a success story. Gloria, I got a question. Now, your business is really built a lot on collaborations with partners and cities and things of that nature. What is different about working with that target base versus something that, say, your partner next door discussed? What's unique with your approach to the market?
Well, so in terms of leading by example, we found that the municipalities that we are currently working with certainly want to do just that. You cannot tell well, you can in terms of police officers. So if a municipal vehicle is not compliant or is emitting pollution, they can technically get away with it because they're not going to be stopped by another neighboring municipality to inform them that, hey, you know what, we got a little smoke coming out of your tailpipe and I want to do something about it. Or, hey, your inspection sticker has expired. You should think about getting that changed. But if a consumer or a constituent is driving around and smoke is coming out their tailpipe, they may get pulled over. But surely, if they're driving around with an inspection sticker that has expired, they are definitely going to get pulled over. So a lot of the municipalities that we are working with are starting to lead by example by ensuring that their vehicles are compliant. Because if we want to enforce the motor vehicle regulations, we have to start at home, and that's what they're looking to do. Not only starting at home in terms of that enforcement, but to ensure that their vehicles are healthy, to ensure that they are emissions free. And that's what our software technology allows them to be able to see, as well as the next generation of being able to file your emissions notification to the state electronically, opposed to having to take the time out, go to motor vehicles, get in line, hope that you pass, not knowing. Our software allows municipalities and motorists to know on any given day whether or not their vehicle will pass the inspection.
Did you have trouble convincing the municipalities, for instance, to talk to you about this? I mean, clearly being green is a good thing for everybody, Kermit the Frog, but did you have trouble getting them to accept it and get into those markets?
No, it's surprisingly enough, meeting up with the various municipalities, they were open to the suggestions. Certainly they wanted to understand not only were their vehicles running effectively, but whether or not they were utilizing them as effective as they could. Certainly not pointing anyone out, but if you think about your day-to-day operation or going about your business, if you have to go to the bank, do you get out of the car or do you wait in line? And so if you're waiting to go through the drive-through, think about how much time you're actually waiting in that car and how much emissions you're actually putting out into the atmosphere. So speaking with the DPW crew and them getting an understanding of, yes, certainly some of our vehicles don't need to idle as much as they do, and so we need to become good stewards about what we're actually doing and comply with the regulations that are set.
Congratulations on your success in doing that. I know that's not an easy market to penetrate. Okay, our last friend here. Keith, I wanted to talk to you. Now, you're also the CTO of a venture fund.
Yes.
And you did a spin out, you did your own company. Did you find being a member of Anthiem Ventures to help you set your business up and get you keep going?
Yeah, I mean, Anthiem Ventures has been great to me. I mean, I'm very happy with that. And I think that, you know, just personally, as time has gone on, I've kind of grown and changed myself. And Anthiem Ventures has stood by me. And, you know, whenever I started out, I had one perspective on how to do things. And, you know, I've been working with them for about 4 years now. And that has helped me mature in my perspective on how I handle different businesses, how I work with new entrepreneurs, how I look at how to develop products, how I have learned so much from the experiences that I've had that have made me who I am today, which I think I have a lot to offer people that are looking to start new companies and looking to develop software and digital products.
Okay. You're the classic example of having a great partner. I mean, they're right there. Can't beat it. All right. I'd like to open it up to the floor. Would somebody like to ask and start it out? Yeah, there's a mic right in front of you, sir.
Awesome. I'll take that as a yes. So this question is directed towards Keith. It's my understanding that you've been involved with the Moodle system. It's software that's used by NJIT.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how were you able to work with NJIT and like other schools and you know, convincing them to see the value of implementing your system?
Well, I mean, just so we're clear, I really don't have much to do with any of the sales. I more or less do product design, and I don't sell anything related to Moodle. My affiliation with Moodle was, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, so everybody's clear. And for, I don't know, 10 years or more, I worked as an instructional designer, and I helped set up online degree programs in multiple colleges and universities in the country. I came to NJIT, and I found my home. I love NJIT, go NJIT. And I was able, there was a dean of the College of Computer Science, Narayan Gahani, and he made me an offer to become the director of the Web and Information Systems program here at NJIT. And about the same time as whenever I met Anthiem Ventures, and you know, I've been able to balance both of those. And it's actually worked out really well because the technologies and the knowledge that I've had from working with different projects and having exposure to technologies and resources that I never would have had if I didn't work with Anthiem, I've been able to bring back into my classroom and teach my students, and to really been able to help upgrade the entire curriculum that we have at the school. And that's really how I've been able to balance and how all that stuff has sort of worked out. You know, and it's been a really great experience for me, and I think that everybody wins.
Who else? Ready? Lots of questions that are wide open here. They didn't get here by luck, I guarantee you.
I've done some seminars on how to invent the blockbuster product, but you've had a lot of experience in product design and building digital products and mobile apps. What would you think the 3 or 4 top criteria is essential to making a winning app or a website or a digital product? You could.
So,
whatever you feel.
it's a good question. All right, so I mean, I would say there's, I don't know if I would list them, but let me just try to give you off the cuff kind of answers here. The one thing is that I think that you have to be aware of the first user that signs up for your product. Like, especially a lot of people have ideas of social networks, or they have ideas of communication products, they have ideas that relate to developing things that maybe need other people to be engaged in it. And the real challenge that you run into with those types of products is how do you go from the first user to the second user to the third user? Because if you can't demonstrate the value proposition to the first person that signs up, how is that person going to be your evangelist to help talk other people into using it? So I'd say caring about how that first user's experience whenever they come into the product is really critical. It's even more so whenever you have a communication or collaboration or a social network type of product that you're interested in making. I'd say that next to that, the big challenge that a lot of people face is that they have a lot of things that they think would be cool to do or interesting or fun or like, wouldn't that be neat? And the truth is that every business essentially is founded on one core value proposition. You look at, Google has a bajillion products, but like they're founded on being able to be the world's library, basically, the world's search engine. And they deliver that one service basically as good as humankind can deliver, and they built their whole business off of that. And I think that the challenge for someone who's interested in a digital product is to identify that core value proposition that's going to encourage users to use the product, and then to be able to deliver that one value proposition until you have customer satisfaction, and to build from that point forward. And anything that gets in the way of that initial value proposition is just noise that's going to create friction for your product and create problems with the development and the design, because the less features, the less things you have, the more beautiful you can make the design, the more elegant you can make the product. And anything you add to it beyond what the absolute necessary is just creates more and more headwinds for your product development and traction in the market.
Yeah. The value proposition, and that's it. Hit that right, got a better chance of making it work. Okay, anybody else? More questions? All right, Dr. Olson is here, so we'll go right into his session, and after that, we'll have free time for the rest of the day to go work with the companies and talk to each other. We're not getting kicked out of here. I believe we have plenty of time. Am I right, Stephanie? Plenty of time. So with that, I'd like to go right into Dr. Olson, if you would. Thank you.